Hey everybody, this is CheapyJC of YouTube, and yes, I am doing another one of these videos. Woohoo! Now I have other ideas of what I should talk about in these type of videos, including the one I'm about to talk about in this video. And the subject I'm talking about today is Fanime. There were other subjects as well, like fanfiction, role-playing, and even my short-lived review series that I tried to do when I was ripping off my friend KHF. So I did a poll about it on Twitter, and then Fanime has the most votes. Surprisingly, I thought that RPing would have the most votes. Fanfiction did have one vote, but that's a can of worms for another therapy session. But for now, we're here to talk about Fanime. Yeah! Now, I did discover Fanime a lot longer than when I first joined the community, so I'll tell the story about that. When I first discovered Fanime, it was through TV tropes, surprisingly enough. Like, I was like looking on TV tropes one day and seeing some other forms of animation, and lo and behold, I discovered a page for web animations, and lo and behold, Fanime was on the list of web video. Web animations, you get what I mean. And going through some problematic things and watching Let's Watches later, I've watched the Fanime My Jungle Book Year, which I personally liked at the time. I still do to this day, but it's I discovered a lot more Fanime, but that Fanime still holds a place in my heart. Around the same time, however, I was trying my best to get Penalty About into popular categories in the visuals department because, let's face it, the original inception of Penalty About was a web novel, and that did not get any popularity at all. Like, the only people that liked it at the time were my boyfriend and another friend of mine that I was friends with at the time, that we usually frequently talk to, but not as much because college is a bitch. So I tried to make Penalty About into like a web comic, but that didn't really turn out so well. Why? Well, for one thing, it was during a time before I even had my tablet, and another thing, I was suffering with depression a lot worse because of fact that like it's like I was like moving from a town that was living in for 13 years to a town that I'm currently living in right now, and I was sad as fuck a lot. But I also know that people prefer voice acting, and I was in this group. Well, actually, I'm still am to this day, but that group is very inactive. But the group that I'm in is the Light Novel Brigade, whereas we do like the Haruhi light novels, the audiobooks of the Haruhi light novels. So, I thought that, like, we could do an audiobook of the original web novel, but not many people were motivated for it, so I decided to scrap that idea. So, around 2014, when I do have my tablet, I was thinking that, maybe I could put Penalty About into a Fanime, and it was during the same time when I discovered, the new show, Fanime Update, hosted by Evan. When I announced that Penalty About was going to be a visual novel style Fanime, I would never thought that Evan would actually like notice it during the time, because really I had the mindset of like, I'm just an underground average Joe, I'm probably never gonna get noticed anyway. That was my mindset at the time before the week after I announced that Penalty About was gonna be a Fanime. Evan actually like put that news in Fanime Update, which really made me fucking happy. But as I was waiting for voice actors to sit in their lines, which is with me and voice actors, that's a whole other thing that I'm gonna probably bring up later on in these type of videos. But going back to Fanime, while I was waiting for voice actors, I also came up with the idea for character fluffs. And, originally it was supposed to be a one-shot, but, I really liked the idea so much that I actually kept going with it. Well, kept going with it as I did, but, And so I uploaded episode 1, or at the time, OVA, of Care Fluffs. And, I was surprised that I actually got some feedback from it. and I remember one person that I didn't know would be a friend I would say that would be friends with later on said that if you need any help from it, then feel free to ask. And I was actually like so shy at the time, and I was like using that one picture of Revenista like blushing and shit because that was me right at that time. That was totally me. Later on during the next Fanime update, or at least one of the next Fanime updates, I can't really keep track, but like, you know, Evan made a promotion on Creative Studio Forum back when that website was still active. But when Evan made a promotion for Creative Studio Forum, I thought, oh, I could join that forum, so I did, automatically assuming that it was a Fanime forum. Oops. But like, I was like, hey, I joined. This is me. I'm the creative careful officer for the upcoming Fanime Penalty of Belt. This is back when Penalty of Belt episode 1 still didn't release because I was still waiting for voice actors. But anyways, and you know, I remember my friend Allie, well, before we became friends, that I think she made a post about like the Fanime Skype group, and I was like, I would like to join. And then like you know, I had my Skype info on my profile on Creative Studio Forum, and so I was like, oh man, will I be noticed? And it turns out I was noticed because Evan was the one that first added me into Fanime Rehab, which was the Fanime Skype group that I mentioned earlier. And through that, I've met like a lot of awesome people in that group, like Shribbit, Rainia, Trevor, and Tenchi. These guys are actually really great when you get to know them, even though that Trevor said that they would like to fight me sometimes. Heck, before I joined the group, I never thought that somebody like Rainia would be in Fanime Rehab because of the fact that, well, if you've seen Rainia's animations, they're like studio level of animations that you're like, oh my gosh. This sometimes looks better than actual anime. Like, if you've seen Narania's animations, I actually do feel that it does look better than actual anime sometimes. And how are things here like when I first joined the community? I would say that I saw the inception of some things around the time when I first joined. Like, I know the inception of the fucking mini popcorn box meme that happened back in 2014. I would say of what started it, but I'm not going to, because I'm not an asshole. But I will say that a certain somebody tried to force the meme out. I'm not gonna name any names, but yeah. But I will say this, is that I do know the inception of Tokyo Fetish Mew. Like, I know how that all started out. I mean, I was not there, but I did hear of what started it all. Which indeed inspired me to make another Fanime, and that Fanime was Meat Pie. And from that point forward, I've made like a lot of one-shot Fanimes, like Genko Hates Her Life, Hinaniko Does Not Care, Aviko Had One Job, Poiko of the Silence. Yeah, I have a shit ton of one-shot Fanimes. And while during those times, Penalty About It was getting a lot of recognition. Like, I was able to release episode 1, although that took a while, and I was able to release episode 2, although that also took a while, and I was able to release episode 3. That didn't take that much of a while. I also got lucky with episode 4 as well, although with episode 5, oh, that took a year to finish, but, you know, that's due to voice actors as well as people's real life shit to deal with. Yeah. Now, what good did I see when joining the community? Well, I got to see like a lot of challenges. Like I saw the inception of the 2-hour challenge, the 12-hour challenge, the 48-hour challenge, and also the weekly challenge. Which the weekly challenge is kind of like my favorite out of the bunch, at least the one that was hosted by Evan. Because I was able to make 13 episodes of my series that's has more family-friendly dialogue, Sour Candy Filled Donuts, which that is kind of like my favorite series besides Penalty About, because I just really like how stupid I made some of the episodes. So yeah, challenges are really fun. I will hope to see more in the future, so then people could actually be motivated to do shit. Unfortunately, with some good, there are also some bad as well. I'm not gonna go into too much details about these, but let's just say that there were some personality clashes and some people that don't know how to handle shit with drama and all that. So yeah, that's always fun. But like I said, I'm not gonna go into too much detail because honestly, thinking about these things kind of makes me want to cry like a bitch. And you know, the community got a little bit inactive for quite a while because I was in another type of community of some sort that was still related to the same people that I usually talk with. I was RPing on Creative Studio Forum with a couple of friends of mine. It all started with Shadow Slayers, and it kind of ended with bracelets. I don't know, but that's another thing for another session. Basically, the community got inactive during that time, not just because of RPing, because of the fact that Evan kind of lost a lot of motivation for the community, and Fanime update kind of got dead. So yeah, long and short of that one, motivation got sucked out dry. But you know, despite some motivational issues that I was having, I was able to finish episode 5 of Penalty All About, which, you know, was the thing I wanted to finish. So, where I am right now? Well, I was able to finish a lot of progress with Penalty X, which was an upcoming series that takes place after Penalty All About. I'm kind of thinking of like redoing some of the backgrounds I made, but I'm not too sure if I could do it myself or basically ask my friend Ranny to do the backgrounds, because he does a lot of good job with the backgrounds, which I'm fucking jealous of, to be honest. His backgrounds are so good, and here I am making simple as shit backgrounds. I'm too simple for my own good. And with all things settled and done, I'm still in Fanime Rehab regardless of anything, even though there are times where that group can be inactive, or sometimes there were some problems that I'm not going to go into. But I'm also in other Skype groups as well, but, you know, Fanime Rehab was the first that I was able to gain a lot of friends from in that. Wow, I talked a lot more about Fanime than I did about parents being divorced. I think it's because of the fact that Fanime I have more positive things to say about than, well, parents divorcing, because parents divorcing is kind of a depressing subject. But in all seriousness, I guess I was able to talk more because of the fact of there were a lot of good things that came out when joining the Fanime community. So, yeah. I think that's that, and I think the next video I'm kind of thinking of talking about is fanfiction, since at least with fanfiction it has one vote. Oh, that's gonna be fun. But anyways, that's it for now. This is GPGC of YouTube signing out. Bye bye!